Jeff Christensen is with the Spears Funeral Home in Regina. Jeff, this new funding model from the government doesn't include funeral services. It doesn't include viewing a body or having a viewing for families. Why is that a problem in your view?
Well, I think that when a family's facing a difficult situation like this, trying to navigate the complex emotional and psychological arena of grief, those two things are a very important part of their journey. They help people cope with the finality and the permanence of death. They give people a chance to say a final farewell, perhaps see their loved one in a circumstance that's more peaceful and comforting than the way they remember them at the last moments of their life. If you think about a family who somebody dies and someone's far away, they may not have had a chance to say goodbye to that person, and now the basic subsidy that's being proposed won't cover the cost of their doing that. And for families who are already in vulnerable circumstances, having to make that choice between, can we find the resources to pay for that, or do we just not get to do that, will be a very difficult and I think hurtful choice for them. Yeah.
Legally, there is a requirement for funeral homes to have a visual ID of a body before it's cremated. How is this system changing that?
Well, that's true. In the case of cremation in particular, Section 93 of the Act requires a visual identification in the case of cremation. And I guess our concern is that if we're going to have somebody undertake a visual identification, we want to be sure that their loved one is prepared with a certain standard of dignity and care. And we're a bit concerned that under this new proposal, we just may not be permitted to do that. It's something that's not going to be covered. We're going to have to ask the family to pay extra for that kind of a care and service. And so I'm not sure exactly what the thinking is on that front. Perhaps it's just an oversight that will get sorted out in the ongoing conversation that we continue to have about it. But certainly if we're going to have somebody see their loved one, we want to take the time to provide good basic care and preparation as we prepare them for that.
What's it like, do you think, to have to tell a family that there's some of these services that aren't being covered?
Well, right now I'm having a hard time imagining that. I think at that time families are usually quite emotional, already having trouble tracking details and sorting through things that are confusing. Their memories aren't that great because that's what grief does to us as human beings. And so I think it'll just take gentle care and attention, and to work patiently with families to help them understand what the new approach is. Our hope is still, as we continue to dialogue with the government, that we may be able to promote some adjustments to it that we think will allow us to provide better and more dignified and more appropriate care to families than what's currently being proposed.
Is there a dollar figure attached to what you feel would offer that dignified care?
Well, we've been doing that at the figure that's there already at $3,850. And I think the good thing about the approach we've been using up till now is that it's consistent and it's equitable. So a family can choose whatever funeral home they want to go to. Funeral homes have agreed with the government on that subsidy, and for that amount, we provide whatever type of service the family chooses, from a basic cremation right through to a full traditional burial service with a gathering in our chapel and a burial at the graveside. So I think the approach we've been working under right now is one that has been working, and that we feel we've been able to provide good care to families under that structure.
All right, thanks for your time today, Jeff.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jill.